Hello and welcome to Living Creative with Pixie Princess. Today we're going to show you how to make this beautiful breakfast hash. So stay tuned. Okay, to make this breakfast hash, it's so easy. Let's get started with the bacon. This is an optional thing, but I'm going to cut up about 4 slices in my hot skillet here. You don't have to use bacon if you don't want to. The first time I made it, I didn't use bacon, and I like to use kitchen shears to do this. But I'm cooking my potatoes in the bacon fat. And if you don't want to use bacon, you can use some olive oil or some vegetable oil. It's up to you. So this is just going to kind of top our hash when it's all said and done. So this was just something I put together for a quick breakfast one morning when we had to get out the door and get on the road. And my husband loved it. I loved it. So we have it for breakfast. We have it for dinner. Sorry about that frog in my throat there. And it's just good anytime. It's a great dinner option if you don't have a whole lot of time to get dinner on the table, because it's really quick and easy. It takes very minimal ingredients, but it is so yummy. And if you love eggs, you'll really love this. And I know eggs are very costly these days. So if you're going to cook eggs, cook something that's delicious and worth it. And I can say I think this is worth it. So some of the other ingredients you're going to need are some frozen hash browns. And if you need to thaw them, but if you don't have time to thaw them, you can stick them in the microwave for a couple of minutes, like I did, just to kind of take the ice off. But we don't need that until we cook our bacon and get it out of the pan. Like I said, you can bypass this step right here. I think I'm just going to put one more piece in there. And this is just to top it off when it's all done, and to have some of that good old bacon grease to cook our potatoes in. A little bit of olive oil will work great too. Alright, so while this is cooking, I'm just going to tell you the other ingredients that you will need. And this is for about 2 people here. Normally I cook my bacon either in the oven or the microwave, but I just wanted to render this fat in here. So of course you'll need your hash browns, and really isn't anything measured. So hash browns, and you could put vegetables in it if you want to. We've got some onion, just some sliced up onion that I'm going to cook in here when I cook the potatoes. We've already got the bacon going, and you'll need some sausage. The little marks on here, it's about patty length, so about 4 or 5 patty lengths if you're making it for 2. And then you'll need some cheese if you want that, totally optional. And then you'll need 2 to 4 eggs. So let me get this crisped up, and then we'll return and we will cook the rest of the ingredients. So stay tuned. Okay, so this didn't take very long. Got this bacon all crispy here, and I'm going to put it on a paper towel. But let me get this scooped up here. in here. And if you can't get all the pieces, that's fine. See if I can get all these in here. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about those. All right, so that's going to cool off where I can touch it later. So now, to this bacon fat, I'm going to add my thawed potatoes. And I'm going to let them brown just a little bit. For our vegetable, we are going to add some sliced onions. If you have some bell pepper or some mushrooms, I'd add the mushrooms a little bit later, but some bell peppers or anything like that would be great. But we're just going to do the onions today because that's what we have. This is kind of an anything kind of goes recipe. So I'm just going to let these brown just a tad before we add the sausage. But I do want to season them just a little. Potatoes always need salt. And this is just to season to taste. Just a little bit there. People can salt and pepper their food at the table as well. But I think it enhances some flavor when you do put it on when you're cooking. If you want any other ingredients, I think I'm about out of pepper here. You can add it, you know, garlic powder, onion powder if you're not adding the onions, whatever it goes. Seasoned salt would work well too. Alright, so I put some salt and pepper on here. In just a minute, we're going to add our sausage. And then all that will brown together. And oh, so yummy. Let's see if I can get my heat to come back on here. Alright. So like I said, I cut off enough to make about 5 patties. So I'm just going to put that into the pan with my potatoes, and it's all going to cook together. I am using a non-stick pan. You can use cast iron or whatever you have. I know some people do not like to use non-stick, and I've heard stories regarding that. So just, you know, you do your own research and do what you feel is best for you and your family. So just kind of keep it stirred so it doesn't burn. And you want to thoroughly cook this sausage. I don't find the sausage renders a lot of grease or fat. So it should aid in cooking the potatoes and the onions. So what we're going to do is let this sausage thoroughly cook and our potatoes and onions to get tender and a little browned. And then I will show you the next step. This is looking beautiful. So we are ready to put this on a plate and cook our eggs. So just going to put about half of it on one plate, half on another. Oh, so good. Just make sure your sausage is thoroughly cooked. You don't want raw sausage. A lot of times when you're making a casserole or something, if it's just a tad bit underdone and you're putting it in the oven, it's going to cook a little more. But in the pan, just make sure it is done. And this onto the plate here. While this is still hot, I'm going to sprinkle it with some cheese. Kind of let that melt while we cook our eggs. Just made a larger portion for my hubby there. Alright, so there's no grease in this pan. There was no grease in that mixture there. So the potatoes absorbed the bacon grease, and the sausage didn't render a lot. So I'm just going to spray the pan just a little bit so our eggs don't stick. And I like to crack my eggs in a bowl. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, because a lot of times I get eggshells, and it's a lot easier to get the eggshells out of a bowl than it is out of a hot pan. So I'm going to crack open 2 eggs, and I also want to keep the yolks solid. Okay, so I've got 2 eggs here. I'm going to put them in. And then I'm going to crack my other 2 eggs. I'm going to turn my pan a little bit, and I'm going to put these eggs in. Alright, so I'm going to let them cook up. Till the whites are a little set. And then I'm going to do my best to flip these without busting the yolks. I want the yolks just set a little bit, but not completely done. I want it to have a little bit of run to it. Alright, so let's get these eggs cooked up, and then we're almost ready to serve this up. Get these dishes out of the way. Now when it's done, you can top it with some pico or salsa if you like. Totally optional. Sour cream if you like. Like I said, totally optional. And see, this cheese is starting to melt onto the hash. Okay, let's see if we can successfully flip these. This is the challenge. This is the challenge. When I'm letting the whites run off a little bit, I am in no way a professional egg cooker. When I cook omelets, I have scrambled eggs with stuff in them. Okay. Okay. I'll let it cook a little bit on that side. It's not pretty, but you know what? It's going to taste divine. If you have a tip on flipping eggs, I would love to hear from you. Get that one flipped. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put this one over here. I'll let that set just a little more. Okay, now these turned out pretty. And just put these eggs right on top. Alright, so this is what it should look like right here. And you can top it with some salsa, some more cheese, salt and pepper, whatever you would like. Okay, let's get this egg out on top of this one. it did set. Oh my goodness. There we go. So, very delicious. Oh, the bacon that we cooked. Just going to top it with some bacon. Bacon adds a lot of flavor. Love bacon. And there you have it. So if you try this, please let me know how you like it and how easy it was to put together. And I hope you will make it because it is so delicious. And it's not that hard to do other than flipping eggs, but you may be an expert at that. I would love to hear your tips on flipping eggs without breaking the yolks and making them a mess. But we're going to enjoy this meal, and I hope you will like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I will come up with some more recipes. We have some series coming up, and I try to post recipes on Sunday. So subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell icon so you know when I post a new one. And please share these videos on social media. That will help me out tremendously. God bless you all, and until the next one, see you later.